hopefully some more power within the town to support you.
See, I just don't, I don't know if I'm missing this or not, but we did everything I thought that we could do to solve the situation. Now this has changed so that now that if we have another situation, I'm just clarifying it for myself. If we have another situation, we call
The police.
a small, we
Routine,
call
you
them.
start at the bottom,
What's routine?
Well,
there's something.
call dispatch and talk to Tom first. If someone screams at me again, do I call
Is
Tom?
that routine or is that important?
You determine. I think that the victim has to determine. I think
Oh.
Because it says a
the
serious
target.
situation, so
Yeah.
you decide how serious.
Yeah.
Well, what if it's just someone yelling at me?
Do you
Well, that
feel-
could
well,
be
that's-
serious, depends
If that
how they yell
threatens
it.
you.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
use
And
it.
if you feel they're mentally unbalanced or something and they're yelling at you, I wouldn't want to be there alone and have somebody yelling at me.
Okay.
In other words,
Yeah.
I would call the number.
Yeah,
I think it depends how you decide.
Okay.
Okay,
myself.
good.
yeah.
So is that how that's going to finish that sentence?
How do we fix that sentence?
Abusive language will not be tolerated and will result.
So doesn't this kind of go back to Link, or does this go to Cody and Tom, pretty much? See what I mean? If something happens, then these guys are the responsible ones, huh?
It would help us, yeah.
Okay.
It would help us.
I almost think that Mary just read the abusive language will not be tolerated. To me, I think you should just, maybe just put a period there, abusive
Right.
language will not be
Yes,
tolerated.
good idea.
Because if someone's yelling abusive language, then as a volunteer, you make the decision whether you're gonna call someone to support you. Whether, you know,
Yeah.
they're just mouthing off and you feel they're harmless. You know, there's people that have problems that say things. There's other people that you might feel intimidated by.
Are you scratching out the rest, or are you going to just add?
Because I think the
Or
rest
just
doesn't
con-
mean anything.
It's just etiquette. What's the etiquette?
Yeah.
to try to
Well, it says, and will
Not
result in recommending revocation of the pass holder sticker.
Just take it off.
Well, I
So you
think-
want to strike that?
Strike
I think you should leave it, because isn't that,
I can put the sentence, "in abusive language will not be tolerated, period." Doing so will result in, you know,
May result
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
revocation.
maybe may result, I like what Mary said, because, you know, probably nothing's gonna happen. That's what we've learned.
well, I have to say, there's certainly a lot of effort that has to go on our part, so that, you know, we can work around, you know, a customer that knows we have to go through the effort to try to make them happy. And, you know, and this isn't just a customer, this was somebody who was a long-term volunteer. And personally, I find it difficult. I mean, I know a lot of the customers at the Treasure Chest, you know, we try to accommodate because, you know, some have needs and some have issues, but, you know, the customer that we're talking about doesn't. Customer does this to bother the volunteers. So, you know, it upsets me that we have to go to the extent that we do to, you know, provide, you know, a venue to somebody, a customer, who's basically working it to their own behalf and putting the volunteers through what they shouldn't have to go through. You know, and I just personally think that, you know, there comes a point where if somebody's doing that, hey, you know, please leave. You know, we don't have the time for it. I can't tell you all the effort that we expend having to deal with this one particular customer. As you say, we voted, we did what we thought we needed to do to come to a resolution that was acceptable to the volunteers. And to go from that to having to coddle some customer who certainly knows our operations and has the wherewithal, you know, to know what they're doing, the capacity to understand. I just don't feel it's fair.
Life isn't fair.
And I think
No,
it's.
I'm just saying.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, lots of things on.
I know, I feel for
I
you,
think
because
we
I'm no
really
longer
tried hard.
I'm no longer a volunteer. I'm just here taking notes, but I once was, so I do appreciate what you have to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's tough.
And I think it's given us an avenue of being prepared for something that could go wrong, you know, that we weren't in that position before. We were trying to make it up as we went along, and now we have a tool to help
Yeah.
us.
On number 3, I was just thinking maybe abusive language and/or inappropriate behavior, which would be like the yelling or sitting there with the loud music in the car. I mean,
Yeah,
why not do the whole thing?
I agree.
yeah, that's good.
You could, but physical violence or threats kind of.
No, what she's saying is a little different.
It's a little different. It's bringing a dog every time you come, or it's,
Mhm.
you know, you're not taking that.
Well, fine with me.
So do you want to,
So how do you want to change that?
Just add and/or inappropriate
Behavior.
behavior.
Physical violence or threats and/or
No, no, no,
inappropriate?
no.
Abusive
Number 3.
language.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And/or inappropriate behavior.
I've had so many, not so many, a couple people throw things at me, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's just like, I would think that would be inappropriate.
I would too.
I think at time when that happens, we need to get their license plate number.
You could say something, and will be referred for, well, I was with it.
for committee, this,
And will be referred to the authorities, and if that doesn't, you know, knows what the authorities are, but it would be the town hall or here.
So these are the residents' rules of etiquette, how are they gonna know these?
how are we going to know
How are
what?
the residents gonna know these rules?
We could post them, put up another sign.
The major,
We're gonna have to get a license
Another
for signage.
sign.
these are for our volunteers, and these are guidelines for our volunteers to follow in the event that they feel a particular instance is at a particular threat level.
Okay.
And as far as the rules of etiquette, these rules of etiquette, you know, were basically set up for the volunteers. And what I'm seeing here are customer rules of etiquette. So, which is different than what we have in our guidelines, which are the ones which the, the volunteers have to comply with. Yeah, these I don't know who,
Jeff, you know,
Yeah,
scope them out for
so-
us, and I think it's a nice,
but yeah, I think once you
Opportunity to-
finally hammer them out, put them up on a sign,
yeah.
so you can point to it.
Everything if you're a volunteer and you know certain people who come regularly and you know what behavior could occur, I think it's good if you could disappear and there's someone else who has a different relationship or.
We've done that.
That's what we
Yeah.
do.
Well, that's what I mean, I think,
Yeah.
and I think you all would know how to do that, but it's like diffusing a
We
situation
do.
before it potentially could happen.
Mhm.
Because we do get to know people, and then you add onto those people if they're having a really bad day,
Mhm,
so
So that's what
yeah.
happened, Keith went into the kitchen to get away from it,
mhm.
and it made it worse.
Yep,
But, you know, it's,
but I think that's great.
by and large, 99% of the time, I mean, folks are compliant, coming in, doing their thing. I mean, it's rare that you run into the situation, but it seems to be with the same individual. I don't hear us talking about anybody else.
You know, for the most part, everybody's
So,
nice.
you know,
Well,
all,
like I said,
all,
hopefully
all
it's
of,
behind us.
all of this to accommodate,
Yeah.
you know, I just,
And it's up to him. It's behind us. I'm ready to let it go if, you know, and I'm hoping he can,
I
because
think he is.
I don't need to be yelled at what we're doing and all, you know, like I said the last time.
and there's
so.
no place for any of that.
Anger's got to go away, and
Yeah. So are we ready to
Are
move
we-
on from this?
We're moving
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I just had two
Next
other
meeting?
things before we that.
Yeah, we have 13 minutes of 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Does
And we
any-
don't, we really have like 3
Okay.
or 5.
Jean, do you want to add anything?
Oh, the sign at, about all donations, okay, that's a trailer. But then one person sorting at the desk, didn't Deb have some other, one of them is like, you know, volunteers should be nice to each other.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I think you can do one or two as long as they're getting along and not, there has to be, maybe the shift leader, I mean, I'm not there right now, but maybe some of the shift leaders can work on that, like, look, if you're not getting along, then
Look, I remember people used to jump in when there was stuff coming in that it took two people to get the work done.
Yeah.
If it doesn't take two people to get the work done, then have one behind. But, that's not something that has to be, I think you can be flexible on that.
Yeah.
Some people go there behind the desk and will not move behind the desk.
I know.
That's, they're like, I'm here and I'm not
I'm
doing another
fixed.
thing.
I get it.
Okay. And
So-
I think I want to keep working on that. I think Deb is a great one for getting things in place. Okay, yeah, and even putting it
People
on
need to be
an-
more flexible.
I want to announce that we have another new volunteer, a person that on Sunday said to me she'd like to volunteer. She's already been in to do the paperwork, and hopefully, she's a familiar face, and just, And the other good news is we have 6 new tables
Oh, goodness.
Yay!
today, and they're
my God.
propped up in the kitchen.
How
They're in
wonderful.
their boxes, so Saturday morning, Chris Terranova can't work Sunday. He said he'd come in on Saturday, so I just contacted him. He's gonna help set them up. I asked Tom and Miami too, Miani, come in and help, and Andreas.
Oh,
And so
wonderful.
between the 4 of us, we should be able to get them propped up, and the old pieces of,
They'll go in behind, right, the tables, right.
otherwise they grab, we'll put in the metal pile. So hopefully they last us a while. The DPW has been amazing of helping us,
So they got you the tables?
yes,
Super.
and getting the metals out of there, regularly emptying the trash, whatever it's called. Dumpster, getting rid of the cartons. They are amazing. And the phone, Verizon's coming soon. When we call into the landline, it's crackly. So they're doing that.
Maybe some new wires.
When we were there the other day, we needed a crowbar to open the trailer. Cody came up with one. They are,
That's
That's
the only problem
wonderful.
we have with the customers, is sometimes they take things that we need.
Yeah, oh, the crowbars,
They take away
yeah,
little bins that say, what was the one you
No,
took?
yeah.
The
yeah.
tablecloth bin, gone. Like, it says
Oh, I wish I
tablecloth
knew
on
where
it.
that went.
Was it, honey?
The tablecloth one. And
Oh,
then with tablecloth face mats, napkins, that, yes.
Someone took it?
Yeah. But thank you all for your work. You're all so valuable to the town and what we're doing in that funny little place.
We wouldn't be far without you, Ellie.
No,
Thank you
it's
for all you
The-
do.
true.
It's an amazing
Lot of
place.
angst, a
Yeah.
lot of work.
We got the heat going again. That was,
Yay.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
that was terrible.
it's so amazing how we can, in a crisis, react and make everything
It's funny. 'cause
still
I had
work.
people-
Mary.
Quickly going back to the residents' rules of etiquette.
Yes.
I think they need to just be simple. Customers will follow the posted rules, abusive and/or language or behavior will not be tolerated, and customers who are violent or threatened will be removed. Period, that's it.
So why don't we table it or continue it and finish it at our
Make
next
it
meeting?
Yeah, yeah. We'll-
That way we
we'll-
have some more time, think about it. That way we're not rushed to do it tonight.
Yeah.
I have one last thing, just to say quick. Sometimes when we have these meetings, the people don't know the new rules, so we have to be careful, that we're posting whatever's going on with our volunteers, because they don't know what we're talking about. So, like you had brought
Yeah,
up.
I get questioned,
Mm-hmm,
you know, well, whose rule that, made that rule up?
yeah, yeah.
So should I put the
So we kinda
minutes,
need to post those.
put the minutes up on the board in the kitchen?
Oh.
You
That
could,
would
because,
be good, everything would be on there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you could put a sign too, everything needs to go, so I think that's good, because
Yeah.
sometimes people will go, I don't know where that rule came from, and then they don't believe us.
Well, that's the customers too, who think they know
Yeah.
better than us.
Okay, guys.
You know.
Yeah, okay, we're done.
All right.
Make the motion to
Can I take a
adjourn.
motion to,
Are you guys causing trouble?
hi Larry.
Hi, Larry.
To convene our meeting for today. Will somebody move?
I
Second it.
move that we close this meeting now. Say
Can we second?
Sure.
All in
Second.
favor?
aye.
Anyone
We're
opposed?
closing, aye.
That's my effect,